What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Scorpio, with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
Another Wednesday, another podcast. This is episode 110. Look at that. Still climbing. I just want to speak on last week's episode. Last week's episode is now officially our most viewed podcast.
That's fantastic.
And I just want to take a second. I want to say a big thank you to all the haters, for boosting the video, because before you guys got a hold of the video, it was at like 5, and now it's at 150 something. So thank you for interacting and watching and being the haters that you are. And
more interactions, the more recommended pages we pop up on. So
yeah. So I just want to thank you guys for doing that. Appreciate it. My watch time appreciates it extremely, and so do my views. So appreciate you guys for being the haters that you are.
Watch time really appreciates it, considering we get that many views on an hour-long video.
Oh yeah. Hugs here's nothing. But yeah, so to all you haters, yes, I am, yeah, I don't know. I don't do this because I want a lot of views. I do this because I love it, and I have a good time with Deception every week. So if you're listening right now, thank you for actually giving some views to my channel. I appreciate it. Because yeah, it is my family and friends that watch it, but now there's more. So it's all thanks to you. Appreciate it. So
there we go.
Big shout out to the haters this morning for that. I just crazy. And all of you guys that watched it that aren't haters, thank you for watching as well. And Doc, yeah, we got to do a podcast about World War II for sure. You and I can just yap, but Deception will just join in where he can. But anyway, moving on from that, this weekend there was the Call of Duty League Minor number 1, which went pretty interestingly. I'd say I didn't get to watch it a whole lot. I only watched like a couple matches, just because I was a little busy this weekend. But I'll pull up the bracket ending bracket. Yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I need.
Right.
And then Deception will. Well, I just gotta change the thing. Deception will take the lead here. Talk about Minor 1. Deception, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Minor 1 outside of a couple like obvious picks was kind of insane. I mean, Surge making it to grand finals was crazy. They did play really well, but I mean, even when they beat FaZe, I didn't fully think that they were like a grand finals level team, because even though FaZe won the first major, it was just
I don't know. I feel like FaZe has been better on LAN than they have been online this season.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, even with them winning the first major, I still didn't think they were like fully informed, because I just felt like they wouldn't, for some reason, they still wouldn't play that great at this minor event. They did not. But I mean,
Deception, your audio's still fucking up.
Is it?
Yeah. Hug says that she can only hear me. Well, we're all good on my end, Doc. I think it's Deception's stream that's having some technical difficulties. It's okay. Technical difficulties are part of the trade.
I literally have it. I literally have all the audio set right, so I don't know what the problem is.
You're listening to Tone's side. I don't know. I'm gonna let you figure that out. I don't know. I wish I could have watched more of it though, cause from what the looks of it, I mean, Falcons finally won a match. Like, they won a match. They didn't win a match up, but they won a game. So they didn't get 3-0'd. I feel like they've won a couple maps actually, but it's still like the losingest team. I think they said I think you sent it to me. They set like a record for like the most hard points lost in Call of Duty history in a row.
Yeah, they've lost like 20 or 21 in a row now.
It's a wild stat to keep. But interesting stuff. But there's that. I mean, I love the fact that LA Thieves finally won. You know, instead of just like getting grand finaled, you know, coming in second. And I feel like that was really I think they needed that as a team, kind of prove themselves a little bit more. And I really do like how diverse this bracket is. I mean, Ravens have been doing really well this season, and they've continued to prove that. And then Surge is, you know, kind of like that. They kind of came out of the woodworks there and kind of did a freaking winners bracket run all the way up into grand finals, which we haven't seen them do in a long time. I think it's been like a couple years since Surge as a team. You know, this is the first time it's Vancouver Surge, so maybe it's the new management, but looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good.
So, I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Damn. I don't know. It's good to see. I think this is something we've kind of talked about a lot over the past couple years. Is just like the depth of the leagues and like having a lot of players and a lot of teams that play well. And it's good to see Thieves better win. Well, Thieves did win this minor, so hopefully they win the major too. I think they deserve a major win. I know. Well, you used to. But I think this depth within the league that we've been seeing this year. I mean, there's definitely like the bottom team, you know, of the Falcons and OpTic aren't doing that well this minor set, but as far as like overall, like last year it was like top 4, only 4 people winning, maybe an occasional upset here and there, but I mean every single time the depth of this league is really, really good this year, and it's good to see.
I just really hope that it stays that way, because
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling that it's gonna end up like it does most years, where like by the last major and champs, it's like everybody's basically where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. I just hope I really do hope this keeps up, because that's something that we've been like really missing within the league throughout the past few years, is just this like not knowing, especially with, you know, how many how little teams there are playing. I feel like that's like an element that we were missing from when it was like open bracket, because a brand new team could come in and win the whole entire thing. But with this, you know, it's a little different, and only certain players make it up to this level.
Yeah, I kind of wish that, like, just for the purpose of like the tournaments being more even, or at least having a little bit of challenger support, which it seems like they're allergic to.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see at least like the top 4 challengers be able to make it, but I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think that's been a thing before in like very niche scenarios, but like that, I don't know if that'll ever happen at a major again.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm glad that the league is starting to make some improvements in that sense. I know that's not something that they can really do on the back end, but as far as just like watching as a viewer, it's really good. So I'm content with that aspect of recent events.
Yeah.
What else have we talked about since last week? When was last 26th? So, okay. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the Call of Duty League. I mean, we're just kind of like got like what, a couple more weeks until Major 1, and then the week before Major 1 we'll do our predictions again, and then we'll talk about them after the Major. Hopefully I'll be able to actually watch.
Yeah, this minor event, I do like the minor events kind of throwing a wrench in the typical like league match system.
Yeah. Gives us a little checkpoint on where teams are at against all the other teams. And they get to play a little bit more too, which is nice. But what else? What was it? Oh, yeah, speaking of winners, OpTic was having a pretty winning weekend, minus Call of Duty. We don't got to talk about that. Let me pull it up. So last past weekend, another FPS, Halo. There was the HCS 2025 season kickoff, which had the OpTic boys winning, and the HCS Open for week 1, which is pretty great. Their squad seems to be really, really, really dominant, which, if you can look at the bracket here, it was a 3-0, 3-0, 3-2, 3-2. So Rebellion was really the only team that could like keep up with them. So it's looking good.
That's a super team for you.
Yep. I think they're gonna have a really dominant season this year. I think this is definitely OpTic season in Halo. I think they've been kind of waiting for it. Last year was what, Space Station 1? Question mark? Was it Space Station that won?
What?
The champs for Halo last year.
Yeah.
Space Station. Yeah. So OpTic, coming out on top in this this area, and then
I thought you were asking who won last year's like week 1 open.
No, I have no idea. I was talking champ. I was like, I could not expect anyone to know that answer except for like the actual players themselves. And so that's the Halo world. OpTic's doing good there, and then also with like Crimsix and his racing. He placed first in his race, which is pretty great. This guy is still like kind of a rookie when it comes to this stuff, and he's winning a lot. So in all areas except for COD, they're winning. They did win in COD this year already. No, they won champs, but they're having a rough start to this game.
You need to work on the COD a little bit. Just
a little bit, but it's good that other things are succeeding for them, and we're big OpTic supporters here too. OpTic and Thieves. But which is really cool. I think seeing like these comeback. I'm gonna go on a side tangent real quick, just because I want to. I think seeing these orgs come back from like being down bad, it has been really good to see. Especially with like OpTic and like FaZe, specifically. With OpTic, losing the company to someone else and then having to go elsewhere, and then ending up buying it back and then turning it into something like this where you're winning in multiple different things, real sport, like in racing, not real but like traditional racing, and then in eSports as well in the same weekend. Like, that's insane. And then also like just having your hands everywhere, and then with like FaZe, they kind of kept all their esports teams the same, but with their, content side, their content side is really blowing up. It is kind of different than like your typical gaming organization. They mostly do IRL content, not. I don't think anybody. I didn't even really stream video games. If I'm being completely honest. I mean, some of them make like YouTube videos. Like Apex makes YouTube videos with gaming on a secret gaming channel. So don't tell
I think
anyone.
that's a lot of the reason why OpTic has had, I guess, more of like a hardcore / steady fan base over the years. Is like they haven't really ever had like a shift like that where they go basically from doing just gaming to now they're just doing IRL stuff. Like OpTic has always like had a good balance of everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also like they have that balance, but at the same time, it's not like they don't do like polars. They don't just do gaming or they don't just do IRL. They like mix the two together, and like they did like vlogging. They do like vlogging. They do video game content. They stream. Like they do everything, which is kind of like the perfect mix into like building a fan base. And I'm not saying that FaZe doesn't have a fan base. It just has a different one, I think. Like it's still like a core fan base from when they did the content and the game, like the IRL content and the gaming stuff.
I feel like they've lost a lot more than OpTic though.
Yeah. So I mean, them like restarting. I don't know. I
Like
don't know.
if you ask like most, I mean, obviously like this doesn't really mean that they're like hardcore fans or not, but like if you ask most people that are gamers what FaZe is, they probably are going to talk about like 10 years ago when they were playing Call of Duty all the time. They're probably not going to talk about
or like Rug.
people that are doing IRL content now.
Or like Rug. Or maybe like Apex.
They don't talk about Rug because Rug played COD, but like they probably have no idea what he's doing now. They probably think he fell off the face of the earth.
No, I think it's either like they know Rug, like especially like the younger crowd, they know Rug before he played video games. He's kind of always been IRL in their eyes. But then like the really OG will know him for like the gaming aspect and probably still like follow him today. But I feel like his channel's more family friendly now. Like he's kind of keeps like a family friendly vibe because he knows a lot of kids watches like videos. So there's that kind of aspect to it. And some people don't like watching family friendly content. They like the cursing and the raunchy jokes and the innuendos. So I don't know. I think it's just like a really it's different than I think what we've seen. We haven't really seen like a gaming org not have a team of content creators that play video games all the time. And then just do like then that just like main and IRL content. There's been like like a couple IRL streamers and stuff like that within the organization, but not a full team of them. I think like Ronaldo plays video games still every once in a while, but they really are on like the IRL streaming aspect of things, which is great. I mean, make your bag, get your money, do what you gotta do. Yeah, I mean
they're doing well. It's just like
I'm being nitpicky, I guess. I don't know.
It's hard to dismiss the fact that it seems like that they've kind of
they've definitely taken like a big shift. And I think that part.
Well, and it's just weird because it's like Banks talked about how with his with them essentially getting FaZe back and gaining all the control, they talked about bringing it back to how it used to be. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, like he could have been meaning like doing it exactly how it is right now, but I feel like a lot of people thought that they were gonna like start playing a lot more COD, making a lot more gaming videos, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think this was what he meant, was like bringing it back to the core of like a bunch of people living together and making content together. I think that's kind of what he was meaning, but I think a lot of people thought that it meant like people gaming together all the time and like that kind of stuff that comes with that. I think like he was keeping it a little bit more simple, and people were thinking like, oh, it's gonna go back to where like a bunch of people live in the house, they stream all day, make content around video games like they used to, and like play together and whatnot. But now it's like a different level of collaboration that I don't think a lot of people were expecting. But I don't know. I really one person that I've really been watching like a lot from FaZe recently is like Apex. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like his like unfiltered podcast and then like 30 questions or whatever that he does afterwards. Like I've been watching those. And that's not like, it's not gaming content, but it's with gamers. You know, he's had like Nadeshot, Ninja, Hex,
Yeah.
Tico, like it's around gaming. I feel like that's kind of like, you know, and it kind of, I'm the target market for that podcast essentially, like wanting to know like the inner workings of gaming and like, you know, like the top names in gaming. So I mean, it's perfect for me. But he also does like gaming. He also has like a gaming channel where he uploads. So I don't know. I think all in all, I think they're doing great as far as like coming back and like being like that core group again, living together, making content, collaborating. I think it's, for me, it's missing the gaming aspect of it all, especially with it being an esports organization. Because usually you see that kind of stuff from like things like OTK, where it's just like content creator, it's like a content org.
Yeah.
You know? Or like offline TV. I don't know if that's still a thing, but like offline TV was literally just like IRL content from a bunch of streamers that played video games. And that's what it's starting to like feel like, instead of like a gaming org and what you would expect. But I guess like doing the unexpected is like what helps in this situation. I just think like people are, you know, now that the gaming industry and the esports industry is growing and it's becoming more solidified, people expect certain things from organizations, and I think that's one of them. I think that's kind of like a core concept of having content creators in an organization, is to like promote, like have them play the games that, you know, you're competing in. It's like a kind of a core concept, and to bring more publicity to your team that competes in said game.
Yeah.
Right? So they have more fans, and just like more fans overall of the organization, and they have like at least two things to, you know, pay attention to: the team and the content creator that they like. And I think they're just like, they don't have that right now. So I mean, luckily they have like the time that they've been in the industry, so a lot of people already like vote like support FaZe just because they've supported FaZe for the past 10 years. I think it's just more like converting new people into the FaZe aspect of things, and not just like, not as much the lifestyle brand, but like the esports brand of it.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe on the esports side is still booming.
It's just like I think
it just feels kind of odd that like the esports is like basically the only gaming aspect they have right now.
Which is like, I can see why, because like that side of the space is really popping off, and they're all great, you know, streamers, and they're all good at their craft. They all make bank. They all have a lot of followers, a lot of viewers, and they're engaging. But I mean, I think just like coming from someone who is building an esports organization right now, I feel like that's just like a what was I saying? But I think it's just like confusing, you know, to like to the viewer, to people that have been following FaZe for so long and they want the gaming content. I mean, personally, I like IRL content every once in a while. I like it in small quantities, not an 8-hour stream of it. You know? So that's just my personal opinion. But I think a lot of people share that same sentiment, that they're kind of missing the gaming aspect of the content that was there before. Being able to like, because I feel like that was kind of like the whole point of IRL. You see your favorite streamers and gamers, you know, and like YouTubers in real life, and like that, but then you can also see them in their gaming atmosphere. It's kind of like for FaZe specifically, like I think that was like the draw, is because like most of their content was gaming related, but like the org content, and then like every once in a while a video on their own channel would be IRL, and that would kind of like hook you a little bit.
Kind of how OpTic does it now.
Yeah, like, they hook you with it. I mean, and then OpTic occasionally does like the occasional like gaming video on their channel, or they talk about gaming. You know, they'll do like a gaming trivia, or the OpTic podcast, or the Flycast. Like,
Right now, I would say the person that does probably the most IRL technically content in OpTic is probably Krim, because he's actually like racing and stuff. So, but even Krim like plays games all the time. Like even Krim will be playing like he's been playing COD with Max Verstappen and getting him better and getting him through ranked, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and like, and he also does like the racing sim, stuff, and like plays like racing
Yeah, Krim
games.
does a lot of like iRacing streams and stuff too, which is great.
So he like ties that in with the IRL stuff, and that's the thing, is like that's like the kind of like the mix that these people have created over the years that have support. This is like it's what's worked, and it's still, it's like it's not broken at all. Like it's literally like a tried and true method of like how to like build an audience, is like get them in with the video games, keep them with your personality. Thanks, thanks, inspiring. I appreciate you.
Bro, speaking of iRacing, did you see what I was saying last night?
I like watched it and like read the description.
No, you have to read if you read the tweet, you'll get it.
Okay, we're introducing adaptive AI in season 2. With this setting enabled, your AI competition will automatically adapt to your skill level throughout the race. And before you ask, no, it does not summarize your emails or generate images with 6 fingers or anything of that nonsense. What? Oh my god.
Calling out COD, bro.
Damn. I think that's kind of cool though, that you get to race against someone around your, like, to like better yourself that way. It's just like similar skill level.
I just hope it improves the AI, because I mean I've never raced on iRacing because I don't have a wheel or anything yet, but I know that people said that like iRacing like unveiled their AI and put them in the game, like I think like a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and like everybody has talked about how they're just really not that great, and hopefully
this changes it.
Hopefully that improves it, for people that actually use the AI. I mean, iRacing doesn't really. They're working on like a career mode type of thing that's more of like a single player / offline experience, but like I would say 99% of people mainly play iRacing online, so it's not like the AI being bad was necessarily the worst thing in the world, but I'm glad that they're trying to make them better.
Yeah.
Especially considering iRacing is heading up development for the new NASCAR game that's going to be coming out on consoles and PC, and that will need AI because a lot of people play like the career mode and stuff in NASCAR console games, so
Interesting.
They'll need good AI for that.
Yeah. I love the way that AI is being like integrated into stuff now. I think a lot of people were a little skeptical about it at first. I feel like you should still be skeptical about AI and not fully trust the capabilities of it. I mean, use your own mind. But I really like how integrated it is becoming into these like certain things, especially like with like gaming, especially because now, you know, instead of having these like pre-programmed bots, you know, that can only be so good, you can now do things where, you know, you have a bot but it's AI generated, so it'll, you know, counter your stuff or like play like an actual player. And
my main thing about it, at least on the racing side, is I hope that the AI act a lot like real like players. Like I hope that like a lot of previous AI that has been used to create the other drivers in the games they'll do a lot of stuff where it's like they're either programmed to run a specific line and they won't do anything else. So even if you like try to pass them or whatever, they'll just try to run that line and basically try to kill you. And then there's other AI in other games where it's like they're either overly aggressive to the point where they'll borderline wreck you, or you'll try to make a move that wouldn't even maybe work in normal circumstances, but they'll just lay you by. Just like they'll just straight up just be like, okay, you can go. And I hope that like they kind of narrow that a little bit. But I also hope that like the AI like actually makes mistakes and stuff, because I think that's another thing about AI, especially in like racing games, is like AI are so programmed to like to be so precise that it feels like they don't make mistakes like a real person would.
Hmm.
So
I
it would be
mean,
cool if they could make a way where like maybe the AI messes up one time or something like that.
yeah. I think with part of it too though is like AI learns over time. You know,
Yeah, and
like
that's the fun part about having the adaptive AI in like any game is like the AI could theoretically figure out how good or bad you are at the game and adjust to it.
mm, so and then as time goes on too, like it'll learn like different moves from other players and like just like different things that you normally wouldn't um get from like a
Yeah.
bot. Like if there's like a new skill that's out there since the game launched, like that AI will be able to pick up that from what you do, and then like maybe use it against you or be able to counter some of your moves that you
Yeah.
use in certain situations. Um, and so the more you use the AI, like the more smarter it gets essentially, and the more
Yeah.
precise it becomes, and the better training tool it becomes. Especially if it's like a skill, it's if it like atones to your skill level. Um,
Well, that's exactly like what you said is like it's like a tool. I think the problem with game development and why people are starting to be negative about AI is there are some game developers, namely Activision with Call of Duty right now,
mhm.
that like basically are trying to make it to where the AI just basically replaces game devs. And
Yeah,
I don't think that's the way to
I
go.
don't think. No, I don't think that should be the case
I
because
think that AI should be like a tool that you use to where maybe you're like looking for inspiration on something or you want a concept and the AI makes it and you're like, oh, that looks cool. I'll work on that, but put
I'll
my
make
own
it
spin on
better.
it or
Yeah,
do it. I'll make it my own thing.
yeah.
But like right now, it seems like in COD, and there's some other games that are doing it too, but especially COD with the recent things of them obviously making it kind of known that they had AI before, where it was like, yeah, like as iRacing mentioned, there was a calling card there was a Christmas calling card where the zombie Santa had 6 fingers.
Mhm.
Um, there's been some other weird things pop up in recent months on different cosmetics for COD.
There was like
A
a
lot
the
of
Black
people
History
think
Month
that
one.
the Black History Month one is one as well.
Like that's you can
A lot
totally
of
tell that
people
was
are
AI.
speculating that the Tombs zombie map logo is AI generated. Um,
I wouldn't doubt.
and now it's confirmed that, I mean, Activision confirmed it already recently anyway, but now on Steam, if you buy Call of Duty, it says they have to. Now that Steam made companies make a disclaimer that they use AI, now Activision has said in Steam that they use AI for COD. So there's all that happening, and then like recently they put out surveys of like, would you want to play this game? And it's like one of them is like a Call of Duty sniping game on mobile, and another one is like a mobile only zombies game.
Hmm.
And like it's basically confirmed that like the images they used in the game are AI generated.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that is like I don't know. Like I don't really think that's what we were thinking when we said that we want that AI is good.
Hmm.
Um,
I think AI
like I
as
think
a tool.
AI should be used as a tool and
Hmm.
not a replacement for regular like game devs and
Or
stuff.
like as like an assistant, you know what I mean? Or as a tool or like an assistant, not like taking away from the person itself. It's supposed to make that job easier, not replace the job, you know?
Yeah.
Which that's my personal opinion on this situation. Everyone has their different opinion on like how AI should be used.
Well, I
Um
mean, that's the thing though, is I feel like a lot of people have that same opinion because like all this AI generated stuff, I feel like Activision thought we'd love it and we don't.
yeah. I mean, I think it would be good if they used the concepts and kind of like did them better because some of the concepts are really great and they're just like you can tell it's AI, so it looks pretty shitty. Because AI, image development is still like, you
AI
know,
image generation, depending on what kind of image it is either surprisingly good or pretty bad.
Yeah, it really just depends.
Usually pretty bad.
Sometimes it depends on like the prompt, like how detailed the prompt is. Other times it's just what
if you get
AI
an AI
engine
to
you're
try to
using.
make a real picture, they do pretty good.
Yeah.
But like if you try to get them to do like an animated picture, it's not great usually.
Yeah. Well, because they're not like based in logic, you know.
Yeah, and it's like that's the other thing is like AI is just I don't think AI is good enough. I mean, I would never personally want AI to replace anything.
Yeah.
But like I just don't think AI is good enough to even like think about doing that at this point. And like
Yeah.
we've seen it already that like people don't really like it.
Yeah, I agree. Personally. But I think there is a place for AI in video games. I just think it is better as like a tool or like for like bots specifically. I feel
Yeah,
like using
especially
AI
like a training
bots.
software. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like AI bots would probably be like the best use of it within the game itself. And then
And that
like
could make like even beyond like shooter games and stuff where you would use stuff for bots for like warm up. That could be really good for other games, like story games and stuff, as having
mhm,
AI that would make better NPCs that don't just
just
act like robots,
yeah. Or like
basically.
if you like want to play a co-op game and you like fill your team, you can, do it with like AI and actually have like a
You know that
coherent
they're actually
teammate.
going to be good.
Yeah, you're like, okay, this is not gonna be like they're not gonna be walking into a wall for 20 minutes.
Yeah, or it's like in DBD where like if a survivor DCs, then you get an AI bot.
Mm-hmm.
And recently they've been working on making their bots better, and it's still kind of like hit or miss, but their bots are a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah.
Their
Like,
bots used to be like pushovers, and
mm-hmm.
now like their bots aren't great at like co-oping with other people. Like a bot is not great at like getting you heals or doing a gen with you, but like the bots are deceptively good in chase.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
bots,
so
you can if a killer gets caught chasing a bot, it could go badly for them.
I guess it's kind of like, you know how to use them, especially like if that's like the case. So, I mean, when we played DBD that one time, we did have someone DC and there's a bot coming for them. But I really do think that the possibilities are endless. It's just how we do it as like a community, both on the developer and the gamer side of things. Because it does have a place in gaming, and I think gaming is a great place for it to be. It's just we have to use
Yeah,
it right.
gaming is one of the best places to work on AI
Mm-hmm.
because when it comes to like I said about like racing games with having other people and like sports games with having like other players that are controlled by computers and it's like and like story games with NPCs, there's so much that they could use on the gaming side to help with AI and
Mm-hmm.
make AI better.
Like if you have like a teammate leave in the middle of like a ranked match or something, you can have an AI bot come in their place.
Yeah.
It plays at like a similar level of the person that left. But what was I saying? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, just don't let them listen to COD lobby voice chat. We'll be okay. I don't think any AI bot should get a hold of those conversations, or
Yeah, if we train AI bots to try to like communicate in ranked or something, it could go pretty badly.
or even just like late night S&D, bro. That's how bots would be able to take over the world. They would just listen to the people that talk on that, and they're like, okay, all right, I'm getting ideas here, okay, but. Oh my god, imagine an AI bot like cursing you out at like 2 o'clock in the morning. That would be. Oh, because they'd be able to come up with some pretty good comebacks, you know?
Well, especially now that COD has game chat, imagine like the bot talking in game chat.
God. Oh
Like
my
even if the
goodness.
bot couldn't like verbally speak, imagine them texting in the chat.
Be like, you suck. Get a job. Um, but yeah. Um, So just moving on from that, into kind of talking more about esports. So as some of you guys and most of you guys probably know, I play for my school's Marvel Rivals team. So I'm kind of like in the loop on all things Rivals. And right now they're kind of a lot of people are putting some teams together. The esports outside of this game is really starting to blow up. They kind of had to rush private matches because they weren't expecting, a month into this game that people were going to want to compete in it. So now we're starting to see some of the bigger organizations, like the S tier, A tier organizations, putting out some rosters. The first one I kind of wanted to talk about was Envy. This is Envy's like second roster back or third roster back in their return to being in the being an organization again, really. So we kind of knew this was coming. They did a little teaser a couple days ago, I think. It was a nice little video, but they have announced their roster with pretty cool pick. So I mean, this game is gonna bring
one of their people plays Jeff.
Yeah, love me some Jeff. Go Jeff. But I think it's good to see this kind of we're seeing a whole rise of new esports players because of this game. It is a free to play game, and I think seeing like a whole new rise of people with a new esports is great. And then in other news, along with this, the Sentinels also announced their roster. And they're actually having, on this roster is the first ever female pro for the organization, Aramori. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. But I just kind of want to bring this up because that's kind of something we kind of focus in within like the Scorpion Syndicate is like, like highlighting women in gaming. So I just really wanted to highlight that we've got an excellent, player here playing Marvel Rivals for Sentinels. That's the first ever female pro for the organization. And I'm sure she's going to kick ass.
Fantastic.
So I already dropped her a follow because I was like, I gotta be in tune. But yeah, so that's like sick. So I love, women supporting women out here. And it's just really cool to see that she's kicking ass. She plays, okay. Interesting. But I think she's like, where is she? Yeah, she's like 9th on the global leaderboards.
Which is great.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of something that we really talk about in, like, as far as, like, Scorpion Syndicate is, like, these women, they're powerful, they're strong, they're very good at the games, they're just, like, not a lot, they just can't be in esports a lot because they don't get a lot of opportunities like this. I mean, like, she's the first female in this organization to play, professional esports. So, I mean, you kind of see where I'm coming from here on, there are really, really great female players. Just very few of them actually get to make it to the main stage.
I'm really intrigued to see how Envy does in Marvel Rivals because Envy has had a reputation for going to other esports beyond COD, which was their original esport and their main esport.
Yeah.
They have had a reputation for going to other esports beyond COD and doing well. So I kind of have a bit of confidence in Envy that they have a good team.
I think with this being a new esport and the teams being kind of just a bunch of new players, I think it's gonna give some competitive depth to the leagues that I haven't heard anything about like a main league hosted by Rivals yet. I know there's been like tournaments and some like lower level stuff. But nothing like mainstream that's like sponsored by the game itself. But I'm very excited to see that kind of like take off and we can like learn more about. I think it's gonna be great, honestly. I think it's gonna be a good esport. It's very like accessible, as a free to play game, and then also it's also like Marvel, and who doesn't love superheroes? Some people don't, but us nerds, we love superheroes. But I think, I'm really excited to see this, especially as someone who's playing, competitive Marvel Rivals right now. This is a good thing for me to watch and see these players. I gotta start, tuning into some of their streams and being like, tips. I need to watch them to learn how they do with these characters, because my skills need a little bit of work. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I love me some esports, and I love me some women in gaming. So, had to highlight that. And I really hope to see a lot more female pros in the scene. And just like in the scene in general. I mean, that's kind of like one of our like main focuses within like, Scorpion Syndicate. Is to get more females at the higher levels of esports, and just like content creation and gaming in general. I could talk about this for days and days and days. I have talked about this for a long time in periods, so I won't go into it today, because I kind of did it a couple weeks ago. But I don't know, it's good to see. Anyway, anything else you would like to talk about today, Deception?
I think we pretty much covered it.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the Climb Together podcast. It was a little bit of a shorter episode today, but it was a light week. My yap is not on point today, apparently. Not enough side tangents, I suppose. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks again for, giving love to the last video, or hate. Boosted my views anyway. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow the streams. We stream this live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST, twitch.tv/toners_scorp, and twitch.tv/deception276. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. This goes live on YouTube at 4 p.m. EST every Wednesday after the podcast. So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube over there. It's toners_scorp. And like the video, Yeah, so Deception, say bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.